Welcome to Campfire Stories.
Welcome back to the fire, friends. Tonight's Ottawa Valley legend is not a monster or a ghost, but a little old woman in a little log cabin who for 40 years knew things she had no earthly way of knowing. They came to her from 100 miles in every direction, farmers and lawyers and grieving mothers and desperate men, and they called her the Witch of Plum Hollow. Her real name was Mother Barnes.
The Witch of Plum Hollow. Marty, I already like her better than the Wendigo. Was she a real person, this Mother Barnes?
As real as you or I, Carol. Elizabeth Barnes, born back in the 1700s, who came to settle in a hollow in eastern Ontario on the edge of the valley country in a small log house that still stands to this day. She raised a great brood of children. She was poor, and she had, from her earliest years, what the old folks called the sight. She could read the leaves in the bottom of a teacup, and in them, Carol, she saw things. True things. Things that had happened far away, and things that had not happened yet.
Tea leaves, Marty. She read the future in the bottom of a teacup. And people believed her?
They believed her, Carol, because she was right. That is the whole difference between a witch people laugh at and a witch people drive 50 miles by wagon to see. Mother Barnes was right often enough, and specifically enough, that her fame spread across the whole Ottawa Valley and beyond, and a steady stream of people wore a path to her cabin door. She charged them a quarter, or a small coin, or a bit of food, and she would boil the tea, and turn the cup, and tell them what she saw. And a great many of them walked home shaken to the bone by how much she knew.
A quarter to have your soul read? Marty, what kind of things did they come to ask her?
All the things people ache over, Carol. Young women asking who they would marry. Farmers asking whether the season would be kind. But the ones that made her a legend were the lost things and the lost people. A man's horse is stolen and he cannot find it, and Mother Barnes looks in the cup and tells him it is in a barn by a crooked pine 2 townships over, and he rides there and there it is. A child wanders off in the deep woods, and the family, half mad with fear, comes to the hollow, and she tells them where to look, and the child is found.
She found lost children in a teacup. Marty, that is either the most wonderful gift I have ever heard of or the most frightening. Was there ever a case that, well, that really could not be explained?
There is one, Carol, that they still tell in the valley, and it is the darkest. A man had gone missing, and there was fear he had met with foul play, and the family came to Mother Barnes. And she looked in the cup a long time, and her face changed, and she told them gently that the man was dead, drowned, and she told them the place, a particular mill pond, and she told them where in it he would be found. And they went to that pond, Carol, and they dragged it where she said, and they brought up the body of the missing man, exactly there. She had found a drowned man in the bottom of a teacup from miles away without leaving her chair.
Oh, Marty, that is not a parlor trick. That is a woman telling a grieving family where to find their dead. How does anyone do that?
I do not know, Carol, and I will not pretend to. And here's the honest part, the part I always come back to at this fire. Some of what Mother Barnes did was surely the ordinary magic of a very shrewd old woman. She had lived a long time. She knew human nature down to the bone. She listened more than she spoke, and she could read a person's face and their story and their trouble the moment they ducked through her door. A great deal of what looks like second sight is really just deep attention, and she had that, in full.
Deep attention. Yes, Marty, I can believe an old woman who had watched people her whole life could guess a great deal. But a drowned body in a specific pond from miles away. Attention does not find that.
No, Carol, it does not. And that is where I have to set my skepticism down and simply tell you what the Valley says and what the records show, which is that time and again, in ways that plain shrewdness cannot cover, Mother Barnes of Plum Hollow knew things she had no way to know, and helped people no one else could help for 40 years from a chair by a wood stove in a one-room cabin. She was not a fearsome witch. She was, by all accounts, a kind and practical woman who used a strange gift to find lost horses and lost children and to give hard answers to people who had nowhere else to turn.
A kind witch. Marty, we do not hear that phrase often. What became of her?
She grew very old, Carol, and she died in that same hollow in 1886, near 90 years of age, and they buried her nearby, and for a long time her grave went almost unmarked, which seems a shame for a woman so many owed so much. But her little cabin still stands in Plum Hollow, and people still make the trip out to see it, and stand in the small room where the whole valley once came to have its future read. And I think of all our Ottawa Valley legends, she may be my favorite, because she is the one who did the most good. She did not haunt anyone or eat anyone or lurk in a lake. She sat in her chair and helped frightened people find what they had lost. If that is witchcraft, Carol, the world could use a great deal more of it. I'm Marty Shepherd.
And I'm Carol, and tonight I'm thinking of Mother Barnes and her teacup and her 40 years of kindness. Pay deep attention to the people you love. That is a gift too. Hold them close and come back to the fire.